kids. I'm Michelle, and I will be telling you the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Twas the day before Christmas, and all through the hills, the reindeer were playing, enjoying their spills, while ever so often they'd stop to call names. Poor little Rudolph, not allowed in the games. Where most reindeers' noses are brownish and tiny, poor Rudolph's was red, quite large and quite shiny. At nighttime, in daylight it sparkled. Can you imagine that? At nighttime, it glowed like the eyes of a cat. And although he was lonesome, he was always good, obeying his parents as good reindeer should. That's why, on this day, Rudolph almost felt playful. He hoped that from Santa, soon making his sleigh full of presents and candies and toys and dollies for good little animals, good girls and boys, he'd get just as much, and this is what pleased him, as all of the handsomer, happier reindeer who teased him. So, as nighttime and a fog hid the world like a hood, he went to bed hopeful. He knew he was good. While way up north, on the same foggy night, old Santa was packing his sleigh for the flight. Without any stars or a moon as our compass, this extra dark night is quite likely to swamp us. To keep from collisions, we'll have to fly low. And to keep our direction, we'll have to fly slow. We'll steer by streetlights and houses tonight in order to finish before it gets light. Because just think how the poor girls' and boys' faith would be shaken if we didn't reach them before they awaken. Come Dasher, come Dancer, come Prancer and Vixen, come Cupid, come Comet, come Donner and Blitzen. Be quick with your suppers, get hitched in a hurry. You too will find fog, a delay and a worry. And Santa was right, as he usually is. The fog was as thick and as white as soda's fizz. He tangled in treetops again and again, and he barely missed hitting a huge speeding plane. Just not getting lost was all Santa's skill, with street signs and numbers more difficult still. He still made good speed with twisting and turning, as long as the street lamps and house lights were burning. But lights will be out after midnight, he said, because even by then, parents have gone to bed. Through dark streets and houses, old Santa fared poorly. He now picked the presents more slowly, less surely. He really was worried, for what would he do if folks started waking before he was through? The night was still foggy and not at all clear when Santa arrived at the home of the deer. Onto the roof with the clouds all around it, he searched for the chimney and finally went down it. The first reindeer bedroom was so very black, he tripped and he fell straight on his back. So dark, he had to move quite close to the bed and peek very hard at the sleeping deer's head before he could choose the right kind of toy, the doll for the girl, the train for the boy. But all this took time and filled Santa with gloom while feeling his way towards the next reindeer's room. The door he just opened when, to his surprise, a soft, glowing, red-colored light met his eyes. The lamp wasn't burning. The light came instead from something that lay at the head of the bed. And there lay, but wait now, what would you guess? The glowing, you've guessed it, of Rudolph's red nose. So this room was easy, with one little light. Let Santa pick quickly the gifts that were right. How happy he was till he went out the door, when the rest of the house was as black as before. So black it made every step a dark mystery. And then came the greatest idea in all of history. He went back to Rudolph and started to shake him, of course very gently, in order to wake him. And Rudolph could hardly believe his own eyes. You can just imagine his joy and surprise at seeing who stood there a hoof's foot away, and told of the darkness and the fog and delay, and Santa's great fear that some children might waken before his complete Christmas trip had been taken. "And you," he told Rudolph, "may yet save the day. Your bright shining nose, sun, can show us the way. I need you, young fellow, to help me tonight, to lead all my dear on the rest of this flight." And Rudolph broke out into such a big grin, it almost connected his ears and his chin. He scribbled a note to his folks in a hurry. "I've gone to help Santa," he wrote. "Do not worry." Said Santa, "Meet me in my sleigh on the lawn. You'd stick in the chimney." And flash, he was gone. So Rudolph pranced out through the door very gay and took his proud place at the head of the sleigh. The rest of the night, well, what would you guess? Old Santa's idea was a brilliant success. And brilliant was almost no word for the way that Rudolph directed the deer and the sleigh. In spite of the fog, they flew quickly and low and made such good use of the wonderful glow that shone out from Rudolph at each intersection that not even once did they lose their direction. Old Santa knew always which children were good and minded their parents and ate as they should. So Santa would pick the gift that was just right with Rudolph close by, making just enough light. It all went so fast that before it was day, the very last present was given away. The sun woke the reindeer in Rudolph's hometown. They found the short message that he'd written down. They gathered outside to wait his return and were surprised and excited to learn that Rudolph, the ugliest deer of them all, Rudolph the red-nosed, bashful and small, was now to be envied by all far and near, for no greater honor can come to a deer than riding with Santa and guiding his sleigh, the number one job on the number one day. The sleigh and its reindeer soon came into view, and Rudolph still led them as downward they flew. Oh my, was he proud as he came to a landing right where his handsomer playmates were standing. These same deer that used to do nothing but tease him would now have done anything just to please him. They felt even sorrier they had been bad when Santa said, "Rudolph, I have never had a deer quite so brave or so brilliant as you at fighting black fog and at guiding me through. By you, last night's journey was actually bust. Without you, I'm certain we'd all have been lost. I hope you'll continue to keep us from grief on future dark trips as Commander-in-Chief." While Rudolph just blushed from his head to his toes till all of his fur was as red as his nose. The crowd first applauded, then started to screech, "Hooray for our Rudolph!" and "Speech, speech, speech!" But Rudolph, still bashful, despite being a hero, was tired. His sleep on the trip totaled 0. So that's why his speech was quite short and quite bright. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. So kids, no matter what you believe in, we are sending you much love and we wish you happy holidays.